Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Novel Knits, my YouTube channel where I talk about knitting and hand-dyeing yarn. My name is Danelle, and I'm coming to you from my basement in southeastern Wisconsin, where I live with my husband and my 2 kids and my dog. And I apologize if the lighting isn't great tonight. I'm recording in the evening because it's the only time I've had recently to record. We're all home all the time, so to find some time to myself is difficult lately. So I'm making do with what I have, and I hope that the lighting's not terrible. I did set up a LED light, and I'm hoping it doesn't give me a migraine, because the last time I tried it, it did. So we're hoping for the best. So I'm gonna jump right into the vital few for today. And the vital few is where I talk about just a few things going on in my life, as opposed to the great many things that I could talk about. It's my effort to not babble on too much about things that are not yarn related, because you're here to talk about the yarn, right? So first thing is I'm very, very tired today. We have not been getting much sleep this week. We are hearing scratching in our ceiling, which is awful. It's the worst. It's only at night. My husband works up in our bedroom all day and he doesn't really hear it. And it's only at night. I don't know. I think it might be a bat, but I'm not sure. So we have someone coming tomorrow to check it out, and I really need some sleep. I'm so tired. So that's why I'm wearing my glasses, and if I seem a little off today, that's probably why. The second thing is I have a correction from my first episode. I had a big mispronunciation, and I knew it was wrong, and I went full force with it anyway. Aves Fiberworks, AVES, is the correct way to say the company name. I was calling it Aves, and I knew it was wrong, and I just went with it. And you know, it's one of those things where you can't backpedal, so I just went full force. So my apologies there. The dyer behind Aves Fiberworks is Luke, and I'm a big fan of his yarn, so you'll probably see it again. I know you'll see it today, so stay tuned for that. And then, what I'm wearing. I am wearing a hand knit sweater today. This is the Long Weekend sweater, and I apologize I don't have the designer's name. I was lucky enough to remember to look it up at all before coming down here. This was a Craftsy class that I took in 2017. Well, I knit it in 2017. I think the class might be from 2016 or 17, right around in there. Anyway, it's a really big, long, cozy cardigan. It goes down to about my mid-thigh. It's got pockets that actually sit in a really nice place. The patterning is really nice, simple, and I used Patton's Croy North American wool in a worsted weight. The color's Erin 202, and it's just really, I really like the yarn. I really like the pattern. I didn't knit it especially great. It's a little big, especially in the arms. It kind of has some weird extra fabric here that I wish it didn't have. Probably should have made it a little smaller. I never gauge swatch, which is my fatal flaw when it comes to sweaters. And it's something I'm going to remedy for 2021 because I'm planning to make a lot of sweaters for myself. But it's just, I mean, I did a terrible job with the seaming. I mean, they look terrible. This one especially is really bad, which might be why this falls so strangely. But you know, it's like a blanket that I wear kind of just around the house when it's chilly out, and I've worn it the last couple days here, and it's been super cozy to wear. I only wear it in the house. I never wear it out, mostly because it's just so big. The pattern did call for you to make like a band or tie to go around the waist, but I was done with the knitting by the time I got there, so there's no way I was gonna do that. I do think I did this band here really well. It looks super good on the outside, and I picked up the stitches really well, so I was kind of impressed when I noticed that recently. But yeah, so my 2021 goals include making quite a few sweaters and gauge swatching and trying them on and making sure they fit my body. That's a big goal that I have coming up for the year. But this is an older sweater that I made, and you know, it's not perfect, but I like it for what it is. It's great. And then I just thought really quickly I would tell you how many works in progress that I have according to my Ravelry queue. And I looked it up this week just because I alluded in my first episode to the fact that I am a caster honor and I start a lot of projects, and I finish projects too. I mean, case in point, I finish things. You'll see some finished things today. I do finish things, but I also start a lot of projects all the time. And according to Ravelry, I have 25 active works in progress, and that's pretty accurate. I also have 6 extra things in there that I thought I was going to start in the last year and just haven't. So I might either put those back in my queue or I'll start them in the new year, one way or another. But anyway, let's move on to finished objects. And I don't know if you've noticed, I have a couple behind me. That was weird, sorry. I finished some of my holiday trees. I'm calling these finished objects because I finished 4. That's really good. I'm probably gonna do about 4 more, but I won't show them on an episode here at all. So I'll start with the big one. This is the one that I showed as a work in progress last week. And I actually had to re-knit the entire tree because I think I said, like, I'm just gonna fudge the top and, you know, it'll be fine. It was not fine. The top did not look appropriate, and then there was a lot of sagging, and it just, if I was gonna gift it to somebody, it didn't look good. So I unraveled it, did it again, not a big deal, and I'm much, much happier with it. So this is, I think I said last time, all of this yarn is from Valley Yarns. It is Valley Yarns that I got from Webs. And I got a kit, so all these colors were in the pattern. So I did not come up with the colors that I marled together. It was done for me. I just read from the instructions. So, but I really like these colors. This is Stratosphere and Ocean Heather, and I really like that. And then I did this one next, and this is Ocean Heather and Lake Heather, and this is a smaller tree, and this one actually turned out a little bit small for the tree form. They're all on these styrofoam tree forms. So, and I have found that with the pattern, I have to sort of eyeball it to make sure they're like not going to be too long or too short for the tree forms I have. I don't do a great job of following directions sometimes. I'm like, I'll just get some tree forms and they'll fit and I'll make it work. And I am making it work, but I probably could have done this a little bit more accurately, like gotten the size tree forms that they said in the pattern. But and then I made this little guy, and Lake Heather and Dark Green Heather, maybe? I don't think that's right, actually. But another 2 colors marled together, and this is the smallest one so far. I like him. He was fun. He went really fast. See, I gender everything. And then this is the most recent one I made, and I like this one. This is Raspberry Heather and Dahlia, and I really needed to get out of the blues and greens for a while, so I'm really happy with this one. I'm happy with all of them, actually. I think they're great. And so I'm keeping my yarn for this project in this fantastic bag. I love it. It's from I Heart You, EWE. And so the next one that I make is going to be these 2 colors. And this one is Merlot Heather. And this is the Raspberry Heather. So this will be really nice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 more, and then I'm going to be done. And then they're going to be for our family. And then I'm going to take all of the leftover yarns, and I'm going to make pom-poms with them. And I'm going to make a pom-pom garland for the holidays, and probably for this basement area. And I'm probably going to make the remaining trees to keep down here. Because we don't have very many holiday decorations for the basement, and I work down here. I have for the last, well, since the kids came home from school, but I'm probably going to stay down here because it's out of the way and it's more private than being upstairs or in the bedroom. And I don't know, it's a basement. It could use some holiday cheer. So that's that. The next finished object, I don't even know who I am sometimes. I did cast on and completed 6 mini hat ornaments. This is the reason that I had to record today, because I need to send 2 of these out in the mail tomorrow. Nothing like waiting till the last minute, especially when the post office is like, going through a hard time. Okay, so I did the Hatvent pattern by Jodi Brown. I just did, you're supposed to do 2 of each hat and make a garland, which I think I'm gonna actually do for next year for my family, but for this year I just used scrap yarn and made little hats for ornaments. And they're all scrap yarn. I don't know very many of them. This one I actually forgot 4 rows, so it's a little smaller than the rest of them. This one I actually do know the yarn. It's Barrett Wool Co. leftovers from my Tecumseh sweater that I made. I got a kit from Barrett Wool Co. I'll wear that sweater next time. It's a great sweater. But that one. And my husband made all the little pom-poms for me. We were watching The Queen's Gambit, and I was like knitting away, and I was like, hey, you want to make some pom-poms? And he did, and it was so helpful. And now he's working on pom-pom garland for me. He's being a real help. This one my son picked out for himself. It's like a green and coral. I just love the pom-poms. They're so cute. This one's my favorite. I just love the colors, and it's the softest. Like, I actually want to wear this one. It's like really cute. This one, and then this one. And this yarn I think was a Long Dog DK yarn. I don't know the colorway, but it's really pretty. I really like that one. And then my daughter is getting this one, but I'm waiting for my husband to make the pom-pom. It's just this sparkly yarn from, I don't know if you can see the sparkle on camera, from Tilting Planet, I think. But it's a really pretty, I actually made her a hat in this a few years ago, and she didn't really wear it. So now she gets a little ornament out of it, because I don't have any other girls really to make a, oh, I do have another girl I can make a sparkly hat for. Maybe I can. And then because I was making little things, I started the Susan B. Anderson holiday charm set, and I made little mittens. This is just leftover Barrett Wool Co. Yarn from another project I did, a little sweater. So cute. And then a little stocking. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna give these as a charm set and put them on garland, or if I'm gonna make them ornaments as well. I just haven't decided yet. I don't know what happened to me. I never planned to make anything for Christmas, and then I just became overcome with the Christmas spirit this year. So I don't know. But yeah, so, and then I have one more finished object, because this also has to go in the mail tomorrow. I actually finished my sister's police box socks, which I've been working on for 9 months or more, because I definitely think I had these cast on before the pandemic, but I don't know. These are great. They look like they're the same size. They appear to match. I'm thrilled. They look long enough to fit her feet, because she wears a size 11 US women's, and they blacked out beautifully. The only problem that well, it's not even a problem. The only thing I don't love about it is on both socks, on the first P, you lose that first stitch. I could go back and duplicate stitch it. I'm just not that kind of knitter. I made sure it was on the back of the foot so it won't bother my sister. And I think it's fine. And the side that she's going to see is absolutely perfect. So I'm really happy with these. They took me forever to knit. And once I committed to getting them done, it was so enjoyable And I thought, why didn't I just do this 6 months ago? But they're done now, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna send those out in the mail tomorrow, and hopefully she'll get them in time for Christmas. They're actually her birthday present. So that's it for finished objects. I had a lot again. That probably won't. Actually, for my next episode, I'll probably have some because there are still a few things that I'm gonna make for Christmas that are staying in this house. So I'll probably have a few finished objects to show next time as well. So let's move into what I'm working on. I'm sorry, I'm like looking all over from my bags. I'm still working on my dad's socks. When I committed to my sister's socks, it was a decision because those have to go in the mail. And my dad, I don't know if I've mentioned this, my parents live one house away from me, so I can work on his until Christmas Eve and still be okay. But I'm gonna try to finish them obviously before then. But I'm making my dad's socks. He also has really large feet. And so I think I was just past the heel when I recorded last. So I might have him try this on tomorrow just to see where we're at. I could fudge it, but I don't want to have to fix them. So I think I'm gonna have him try them on. So this yarn is yarn that I dyed myself. It's just bare Knit Pick Stroll yarn, and it was the first yarn that I ever dyed, so it's kind of special to me, which is why I'm giving it, making socks for my dad with it, and I think he's really gonna like getting them. So, and then this is in this great chestnut fibers bag with the ice skating sheep. On this side she's knitting, so it's like perfect for me. So yeah, let's move on. And it's the chestnut fibers bag parade again. Here we go. I did pretty well getting my son's hat going this week. So I'm making him a sock head slouch hat. He is 9, going on 10, so I'm making the child size, and it goes a lot faster than the adult sizes. I just had to get through this ribbing, which I don't love ribbing, and this is, I think, 4 inches of ribbing, which isn't bad, really, in retrospect, and it goes pretty quickly. And then we're just into stockinette, and it'll be done soon. So this yarn is, oh my, I have a random needle in there. I think that was the needle I used for my sister's socks, and I just put it in this bag for some reason. Patton's Croy sock yarn, and this is in the blue striped rag color. It's really pretty. I don't know if I'm gonna go into the second skein or not. I just don't know. I have no idea. So if I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. So that's coming along. I'm hoping that'll get finished the next, maybe by the end of the weekend. I don't know. I have next Monday and Tuesday off of work, so I should be able to get a lot done in that time. All right, hang on. I've put these bags kind of far away. All right, I don't know why I did that. All right, this bag is so cute. This is Knit for Brains, and this is a Christmas bag. So cute. This side it says fa la la la. I don't even know what I just said. La la la. And it's a very Christmassy bag. I love it a lot. This is my daughter's hat. This is the slipped rib beanie. Oh, and I'm sorry, the sock head slouch hat is by Kelly McClure. And this is the slip stitch just hat, sorry. I keep wanting to call it a beanie for some reason, by Jodi Brown. And I'm using Ave's Fiberworks. And this color is, let me just look at my notes really quickly. African Gray and Pink Cockatoo. All of the colors are named after birds. Oh, and last week I think I called one of the colorways from my Rosy Sunflower hat Mockingjay, because apparently I had Hunger Games on the mind, but it was Mockingbird. A lot of corrections from last week. So For the mohair, I am just pulling from both ends of the cake, which is working really well for me because you hold it double, and then this is the DK. It's really pretty yarn. I really like it, and that's the pom-pom that's gonna go on top. I mentioned before that I had made this pattern in the past for myself, and here's my slipped rib hat. So you can tell they're not gonna be all that different from each other. We're kind of gonna be hat twinsies. I don't know why I did that. This is Vivid Yarn Studios. It was a hat set, and I love this pom-pom so much, and it's a snap-on, so I can take it off to wash, and it's really good. But this hat has gotten a little bit bigger as I've worn it because I wear it every morning when I take the dog out for a walk, and my hair's wet, so I think it's stretched out a little bit. But it's still, I mean, it's a really good hat. It fits really nicely. I think Jodi really has her formula figured out, and I like the way her hats fit, so I'll make more of her hats. But this one will go fast. Once you get into the actual patterning of it and you get past the ribbing, it goes so fast because you're slipping stitches and it's really easy. Okay, and my last chestnut fibers bag, because apparently I'm a super fan. These are my daughter's socks. Still a half-finished object. This is the first one. It's Night Owl Fibers in the Coral Reef colorway. Super pretty with a mystery heel in there. And I have never used progress keepers before until today because I was gonna do this. So I'm not using a pretty progress keeper, I'm just using a light bulb stitch, but that's where I was last week, and so I did this much today. So I'm back on track. I'm really close to putting the heel in, and these go fast. Self-striping yarn goes so fast because when the color is changing on its own, it just makes things fly, I feel. This is that beautiful cake of yarn. I don't know how you could not look at that and just not want to knit it. So these, I have no worries about finishing these 3 things for Christmas for my kids. I also have a scarf in progress for my sister. She's kind of famous for telling me at the beginning of December what she would like for Christmas for me to knit for her. So it's gonna be after Christmas because I just have too much on my plate right now. But I ordered some knit picks. It's a really soft DK. I'll show it next time. Alpaca Cloud, I think it is, in 3 colors, and I'm gonna make her a scarf and mittens, and I really just have like this much of garter stitches, so it's not even worth showing. I'll show it once I get a little further. But scarves are not my favorite thing to knit, so I'm really worried that this is gonna end up like the police box socks, and I'm gonna just put it in a bag and stuff it in a corner and say, I'll get to that next year, give it to her for Christmas. But I know she wants it, so I'm gonna try really hard to commit to getting it done for her. We'll try. So I think I know that's all I have to show because I don't have any more bags. So I'm going to jump into my book club for the week, which is gonna be hopefully less awkward than last week. And I'm gonna tell you what books I finished reading and what I'm reading. So I finished 2 books on Audible. The first one I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on because quite honestly, I don't even know what happened. I started this book a long time ago on my Kindle and I couldn't get into it. And the book is called Smoke and Summons, Numia Book 1 by Charlie Holmberg. And I just couldn't get into it on my Kindle. I think sometimes it wasn't working. So for one reason or another, I couldn't get into it. And so then I had an Audible credit, and for normally I have a list 20 books long that I want to get with my Audible credits, but I didn't have any that week or that month. So I decided to just get that one on Audible and maybe I would enjoy it more. And it picked up, it had like the whisper sync thing, so it picked up right where I left off on the Kindle, and I was like, oh, maybe I should go back and restart, but I didn't. So I wasn't really getting into it for a while, so I listened to like 5 to 8 other books, and then I went back to it, and I ended up really liking it. But I don't really know what happened. It kind of got to a point where just the characters, the two main characters, I liked their personality. I liked how they were together. I liked their personal struggles, and I got through it and I finished it. I gave it 3.5 stars in my head, because I think it was pretty good for a young adult fantasy book. I think it was a me problem, not the book problem. And I'm gonna read the second book, because by the time I got back to it and really got into it, I liked it. So I'll give the next book a chance. But yeah, it was just, for some reason, it just took me a long time to get into, and that happens. And then I finished another book called We Keep the Dead Close, A Murder at Harvard and Half a Century of Silence by Becky Cooper. And I really liked this book. I thought it was really good. I listened to a lot of true crime podcasts, and sometimes I just want to listen to something that mirrors that mystery solving without being fiction. I don't know if that makes any sense, but this was a really well-researched, well-written book. So Becky Cooper she's a Harvard graduate, and she actually went back to Harvard to research Jane Britton's murder. So Jane Britton's murder was sort of like a tale at Harvard. It was said that she was murdered by her professor after their affair went badly, and she was sort of used as a cautionary tale. And so Becky Cooper went back, and she kind of brought Jane's story to life in a really amazing way. So she really researched all the possible suspects to the crime, all the possible murderers, who Jane was. She interviewed people who knew her, and you do end up finding out who killed Jane Britton. And I mean, you could look it up on Wikipedia, but if you're going to read the book, I would say hold out, because it's really interesting. And then because they did a DNA match while Becky was writing the book, so it kind of came out organically as she was writing the book. So it's really interesting how that kind of shakes the people who were involved in it. And the only criticism I have is I didn't always like how the author inserted herself into the story, but I also don't know if that's a fair criticism, because so much of the story was how she brought it to life, like how much work she had to do and how much digging and how much research she did. But a little bit of it was like too much for me. I would give this one a solid 4.5 stars. I really liked it. So if that's a genre you're interested in, I thought it was really good. So right now I am still reading The Last of the Moon Girls by Barbara Davis. This is my bedtime book, and you know, I think my bookmarks moved a little bit. It depends on the kind of day I'm having. A few nights ago, my daughter had a really tough day, and I was all worked up, and I was having a hard time falling asleep, and I read 3 or 4 chapters. Other times I go to bed, I open it up, and I read a paragraph, and I'm asleep. So, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's pretty good. I will give more of a review when I finish it. And on Audible, I started 2 books, and I don't know why. I can only listen to one at a time, right? But I started 2, and I haven't decided which one I'm gonna kind of move forward with. I don't know if anybody else does this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just bizarre. But I started a book called The Bone Witch by Rin Chapero, I think. I can't really read my writing. So, but this, I heard on the 4th Star Knits podcast, I think Heather, she said she read this book and really liked it, and it was free on Audible, so I checked it out, and it is free on Audible, so I'm gonna give it a try. I'm not far enough in it to know if I'll enjoy it or not. It seems like it's up my alley just based on other books that I've read. I like a good young adult fantasy, magic, supernatural novel every once in a while, so I think I'll like it. And then the other book that I started is The Searcher by Tana French, and she is one of my favorite authors. I have a lot of favorite authors, but she's definitely up there. Her first book, In the Woods, is it's so good. It's like perfection, actually. I think if you like murder mysteries at all, if you like things that take place in Ireland at all, if you like detective dramas at all, it hits so many buckets, and it's such a great book. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. I started The Searcher, and honestly, I'm having a hard time with the narrator. So I love her writing, and I know it's going to be good, so I think I just have to buckle down and like get over the hump, because normally if I can get a couple hours in, the narrators melt away and I can just be in the story. So I'm really hoping that happens again. But again, I haven't made it far enough, because I don't know, I started this one, and then I went to We Keep the Dead Close, and then I started the book, which, I mean, I've been all over the place. I feel like that's just the pandemic for you. Like, we're bouncing all over the place right now. Focus is a little off. Life is a little off. It's just how it is. So hopefully by the time that I return and record, I'm hoping maybe between Christmas and the New Year, because we do celebrate both of those holidays, and I will have a few days off. I'm hoping to return and hopefully have another book finished. I'm hoping to have The Last of the Moon Girls finished, actually, because that would be nice to move on. I have a lot of like physical books that have been passed around between my mom, my mother-in-law, and my sister recently, so they're kind of piling up. So I'd like to get through this one so I can pass it on and then keep the rotation going. But I'm hoping to be back in a couple weeks. I have a lot of goals for 2021. I'll probably talk about that, but one of them is going to be to learn how to edit videos and get better at this, so that I don't have to record 3 times in order to make things work, because it's getting old, and it'd be easier to just be able to cut things out and splice things together. So thank you so much if you've hung on for this long, and if you haven't, that's okay too, and you'll never know that I'm okay with it, but I am okay with it. And I hope you come back next time. I've really enjoyed getting to talk about my knitting a little bit, and I hope to see you again here soon. Oh, and my kids would like me to tell you to please like and subscribe. But if you don't want to, I'm cool with it. Do whatever makes you feel good. So have a great week or so. Enjoy the holidays if you celebrate, and have a great time with your knitting. Bye.